I realized at that time, this is where I truly understand the power of being an alchemist. It was during my pregnancy. I said, I have a choice. Every single day, I'm going to get to decide what kind of mother am I going to be to my child.
But no, having that power that mothers have to not just create life, but to sustain the life, to maintain it, to elevate it, and make sure that it's quality life for this child so
Mhm.
that we can just literally shift the storyline that has run through our family.
So prior to me finding out I was pregnant, the day of me finding out I was pregnant, I had decided for the final time, because there was a breakup before that, but for the final time, I had decided I'm done with this relationship and I don't see myself marrying this person anymore. I'm seeing who they truly are and it doesn't resonate with me.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Self Care Oasis Podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Gregory, the Self Care Alchemist, and I help women transform burnout into better boundaries, more balance, and shameless bliss through Self Care Oasis, the newsletter, the School of Self Devotion, and my one on one mentorship. So today I have another guest. Her name is Beauty Reyna, and we're going to have a really great conversation. So, welcome, Beauty. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait for us to have this beautiful discussion.
Yes, thank you. I am very excited to be here. I feel so filled with joy because your energy, you're another alchemist. So it's always great to connect with fellow alchemists and women who are uplifting other women. So thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. And speaking of alchemists, yes, we are both alchemists. And so we're going to hear what flavor of alchemist Beauty is. So tell us who you are, what you do, how did you become an alchemist, and what good are you doing in the world right now?
Okay, yes. So I am Beauty and I am an herbalist, sacred alchemist, and now an author. And so, as an alchemist, it's interesting because learning about myself, I realized, wow, I've been really amazing at turning my wounds into wisdom and my brilliance. I've definitely always been very brilliant, but this time I'm turning it into impact.
Mm.
And I'm leading other visionary women to do the same. We are our own alchemists. We
Mhm.
literally, I mean, a lot of us, we're giving birth, we're mothers as well, and we're doing other great things in the world. So, in that, I'm like, wow, I'm an alchemist, and a lot of the beautiful women around me are alchemists as well. We can turn one thing into another. And that can either be something great or something on a lower frequency. We get the choice. And so I've decided to turn mine again into wisdom, brilliance, and impact.
I love that. So when I think going through the process, and I know you have a story and you've gone through a process. I have a story. I've gone through a process, and I think that kind of is the catalyst for us becoming the alchemist that we are. So I would love to hear like what your journey has been to get you from the wounds to the wisdom, brilliance to impact, because I know that on this platform we talk a lot about self-sacrifice, we talk about stress and burnout, we talk about overwhelm, we talk about all the things that women are facing and starting to reject and release. And so I would love to hear more if you tell our audience about your story and how you got to the place where you lived through the wounds and began to transform it into wisdom.
Thank you. Yes. And I'm happy to share that. One of my most spiritually elevating stories and experiences is in becoming a mom.
Mhm.
I always wanted to be a mom, and I worked with a lot of at risk youth. Ever since I was 15, I was volunteering and working with at risk youth. And I knew I would always tell my kids that I would mentor, I'm going to have 6 kids one day. And I was like very specific, like 6 children. And they would laugh, like, oh, okay. And we could see you being a mom. And so I took such a conscious investment in when I wanted to become a mom. And I thought I quote unquote was doing everything the right way on paper, the way everyone, you fall in love, you're engaged, you get married. I really thought like, okay, I had my fun and now I'm ready for like the beautiful like story in
Mm,
becoming this family woman and a mother. I did so in a time that, in looking back and reflecting now, I was not highly elevated in my thinking. I was more thinking in a, I want to get this done. I'm ready to become a mom. So, in doing so, I tucked away a lot of the red flags
mm,
of the person that I decided to co create and become a mother with.
mhm,
I do have quite a few stories, but that is definitely the most impactful one because I co created another life
mm, mhm,
with somebody, which is incredibly powerful. And there's this soul connection that, whether you want to disassociate or not, your body and again, your soul stays connected to your child.
mhm,
In my experience, one child and or the person that you co-created with. So with that story, that in becoming a mom and becoming pregnant and the person that I realized was not who I thought they were, I understood I still have this beautiful mission. I
mhm,
have this beautiful soul literally growing inside of me. I can feel her. I would see her in dreams, and she looked exactly how I described her to my family. And I would show pictures to everyone. She's going to have the curly hair, and she, looks like this, and she wears little dresses. And she would always come to me in dreams giving me yellow flowers. And to this day, she actually always walks and she sees a flower, she picks it and gives it to me. She
aw,
never walks by flowers without giving them to me. So all of that to say that in becoming a mother and understanding that I was not in a position where I thought it was going to be ideal and dreamy, it became a very, very popular word, toxic situation. And it brought out a lot in me, and where I learned a lot about myself, certain childhood wounds that I had as well. And I realized at that time, this is where I truly understand the power of being an alchemist. It was during my pregnancy. I said, I have a choice. Every single day, I'm going to get to decide what kind of mother am I going to be
mhm,
to my child? And she's here now. Like she's in there growing now. She's
mhm,
growing quickly. And with that, being that the dream of the marriage and the just this beautiful village raising a family, it was pretty much me at the time in a city that, I just decided, well, this is just me and everything is different. Life is changing. I have the choice. And in that, I'm going to transform a
mhm.
lot of the pains that I had as a child, even, and things that maybe I wasn't as connected as with my mother the way I would have liked to. All of those things that I desired in my heart, I'm going to have that with my daughter now. And so, yeah, I'll take a pause there. But in becoming a mom and making that choice and
Mhm,
understanding that at that moment, it started with my thoughts
mhm,
and my heart's desires of what I wanted as a
mhm,
little girl. I'm going to give that to my little girl because I understand what it is to want, to need,
mhm.
and just want to be young and free and exciting. And so I'm like, I want to see my little girl smiling the way I see her in my dreams. I'm going to go ahead and give that to her. And that's where my transformation and knowing that I was an alchemist began.
That's very powerful because last week I shared a similar story with a group of people that I was with about my
Mhm.
daughter and about how me being pregnant with her made a decision that I was going to give her a different life than I had. So that is so powerful. It
Yes.
makes such a big difference between intentional parenting and just kind of, oh, I'll just let life happen and I'll just, let it, whatever comes, comes. But no, having that power that women, that mothers have to not just create life, but to sustain the life, to maintain it, to elevate it, and make sure that it's quality life for this child so
Mhm.
that we can just literally shift the storyline that has run through our family. So that is so very powerful. I love
Yes.
that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So even with being a catalyst, because I think I see motherhood as a catalyst. I think women who are aware, at least beginning, I wasn't fully aware at the time,
Mhm.
but I was becoming more aware of what I did and did not want to see and starting to change a lot in my life. So even with motherhood being the catalyst, were you at a point where you had experienced some type of burnout and overwhelm or just struggles that brought you to that place, that mindset to say, no, my life has to be different from now forward because I'm now carrying this precious life?
So, to answer your question, yes.
Mhm.
And it again was during my pregnancy. So, prior to me finding out I was pregnant, the day of me finding out I was pregnant, I had decided for the final time, because there was a breakup before that, but for the final time, I had decided I'm done with this relationship and I don't see myself marrying this person anymore. I'm seeing who they truly are and it doesn't resonate with me. So that day we broke up. And during that day of separation, I actually went to a Hindu temple.
Mm.
There's this beautiful one in Malibu. I was living in LA at the time, and going there, I just wanted to connect with the beauty of the Hindu temple. And as I was connecting and receiving my spiritual downloads, I was hearing a message that I was pregnant.
Mm.
And in hearing that message, I went to go check if I was pregnant, and I was. And my daughter's father was actually on his way to the airport. He wasn't living full time in LA at the time. And I told him, like, hey, come back, I'm pregnant. He's like, wait, what? So I say that to say that it started off a bit challenging already because it was like I already knew in my soul, in my heart, I was done with the relationship. And I'm like, okay, I'm pregnant. So let me embrace that. Fast forwarding, it wasn't ideal in how we had planned it. There started to be some abuse that was
Mhm.
happening. And so throughout all of that and the roller coaster of emotions and me being pregnant, there was financial challenges and everything else just started connecting it and it became this ripple effect where originally I was supposed to be the wife, the stay-at-home mom. Any extra money I made, this is what was proposed to me, I would be able to just keep it myself and I was going to be taken care of, and so were our children. I understood that I no longer wanted to be in the relationship. Obviously, then I had a lot more of a load that I needed to carry. And I decided, again, it was a choice that I wanted to do it on my own. So during that, there became a lot of heaviness like, okay, wow, I didn't plan on getting pregnant under these circumstances. I thought I, everything was going to work out and be just
Mhm.
beautiful and magical. Once that didn't happen, I realized, yes, now I need to make choices that are instant. But it's a bit challenging when you're in the spiritual flow of I want to walk and hike and do yoga with my child and just all these beautiful things, but now I also need to still work and provide, take
Mhm.
care of all the worldly things that need to be taken care of. So I definitely had a challenging pregnancy from a worldly third dimensional point, but from a spiritual, emotional, and a health, I mean, I was so healthy.
Good.
No, like anything that, what is it, side effects from being pregnant. It was literally such a beautiful, elevating experience. So I leaned into that a lot more and recognizing that, you know what, I'm not probably able to balance it all now, but this pregnancy is beautiful. And I literally spent like over 90% of it alone. So during me surrendering to the beauty of growing this beautiful life inside of me and me connecting with her and just understanding, like, oh, I'm creating a life. Like, how
Mhm.
powerful am I? Like, this is amazing. No one's told me the beauty and the power of becoming a mother. I decided to hold off on a lot of the worldly things. Now, I did start a business and
Mhm.
understanding In starting my business, I do still need to provide for my child, but I leaned more into the business once I had her
Mm-hmm.
and once I understood her in our relationship. And so, yeah, but from there, once I had her, I was able to really shift and go into full entrepreneurship as a motherpreneur,
Right. Yes.
mompreneur.
Mompreneur lived that life for a long time. Thank you for sharing that. I know that being in relationships and relationships ending during the pregnancy time period is tough because you do have dreams. You do have, and they get deferred and they get crushed or disappointed. But I'm so thankful that you had such a healthy pregnancy experience because a lot of women don't. But I understand too that you leaning into it and your mindset at the time, I'm sure contributed to the health that you
Yeah.
had. So that's amazing. And I think it speaks also to how our mindset, our thoughts, like you mentioned before, it really drives your life experience, whether you're pregnant or not pregnant, whether you are in a relationship or not in a relationship, your thoughts literally
Mhm.
can make or break the experience that you have. So talk
Yeah.
more to that. And I know you also wrote a book, so we want to get to that as well. So, talk more to like the thought process, how just shifting your thoughts really drive a positive or even a negative experience.
So, yes, in connecting with my thoughts shifting, I would add that a step before that is I've always had this vibrant, youthful energy to me,
Mm.
to where I would say I've definitely stuck with the little girl in me.
Mm.
And that can actually, it's been very beneficial in a sense of the optimistic that optimistic little girl slash woman who is not jaded. But then there's also the childhood wounds and things that were not ideal. So prior to my thoughts, I would say it's the energy within me of always going back to who I truly am. What
Mm.
did I truly always love doing as a little girl? What resonated with me? What kind of music, what kind of smells, what kind of experiences, and the essence of being around certain people, certain experiences. So I would say in connecting with her, which is that little girl who's just optimistic and maybe not always optimistic, but just as truthful as can be, that's where the thoughts then come in of, okay, this thought resonates, because sometimes the thoughts don't always resonate with what you feel. And every person you speak to is going to have a different perception. They may say, don't go by what you feel, go by logic.
Right.
And then some may say the opposite. Well, you have to go by what you feel. So I've seen that as spiritual beings, I have understood it's best to master who I am truly. What does my soul connect with and resonate? And then, yes, I am in the worldly third dimensional place. Which decisions need to be made in order for me to thrive in
Mhm.
this situation? It's not always going to be, okay, I'm going to, at least for me, I've understood I'm not always going to think positive, just
Mhm.
not. As much as I thrive and love to say I've learned so much, I'm an alchemist, I meditate and I hike. Sometimes I'm hiking and meditating, and my thoughts are not aligned with my actions of what I'm doing. And it's
Mhm.
just real. Life can be tough, and I'm not feeling, like this
Right.
one heart embrace. I'm just not in the moment. And so, again, I take a moment and I tap into, okay, but what is it I feel like? What smells take me to a certain place, which is
Mhm.
why I love being an aromatherapist and an herbalist.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, to go back to your question, it's been a soulful feeling of who I've always been and doing my best to not forget that
Mhm.
little girl. And I get very emotional on this next thing I'm going to bring up, which is one of the biggest reasons why my daughter has been the most enlightening, elevated spiritual experience I've had, because I truly see her Like when I see her, I see myself. Like it's a true, like we look alike. Like I'm literally looking at my teenage, younger self. And to be honest with myself is to be honest with her and to
Mm,
lead her and to remember always be you. I mean, it can
mhm.
sound cliche, but are we truly being us, or is it the person that raised us or
Right.
the influences that we had around us? And a lot of times, quick example, if you go to a park, most children are fearless.
Mm,
They want to climb, they're ready to go. They don't have that fear. They're like 5, 6,
right.
under 7 years old. Usually you see the just
Mhm.
joyful, they're confident, they trust in themselves. And you see an adult, be careful, those words. And we're loving them. We're doing it because we have their best interest, but that chips away at them and starts instilling some fear in them. So yes, I would say that connecting with who you are and remembering who is that person inside, who as far back as you can remember, who has she truly been? Because even when the thoughts don't align, if you can truly connect with and remember that,
Mhm.
you're going to be led. That inner alchemist within you is going to lead you to a path that resonates best for you.
Absolutely. I love that. And this is what I'm learning even in my own evolution is to remember the little girl I was, remember the purpose that she came on this planet to, embody and everything. Because I think it's so important for us to remember. We get caught up in, okay, we're evolving and we're creating who we want to be, but we've always been that person. We've always been her. And so we're just remembering. We're not necessarily becoming, we're just remembering. And somebody said, I think menopause is reverting back to your 16-year-old self, but you just like her better, So,
Oh, yes, that's beautiful.
so before we start to sign off, tell us about the She Is Alchemy Awards. I know this is new and we really want to allow people to understand what it's all about, who it's for. So tell us more about that and then we're going to talk about your book.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Mhm.
So the She Is Alchemy Award. So my She Is Alchemy is my company and my brand, and there's multiple divisions, and we are launching our awards this year. So it's She Is Alchemy Awards, and where we're honoring and crowning women who are turning their wounds into wisdom and their brilliance into impact. We have 10 different crowns that we will be crowning our women, and this is October 22nd in Miami. And it starts out with community voting. Go on my website, sheisalchemy.lifestyle. You will start seeing after April 9th, you will see all the nominees in the different categories. You can nominate yourself. You can nominate another beautiful queen and you can just vote. You'll be able to vote for the next few months. And then our She Is Alchemy tribe is going to go ahead and narrow that down and decide. And our winners will be announced on October 22nd in Miami. Now, the reason we're having these awards is a lot of us women experience so much behind closed doors, and we want to be strong and we want to say, I did it. And whether you had a support system where you did it, like, why not be awarded
Right.
for being your own alchemist and transforming your wounds into wisdom? And especially us women who are bringing and delivering our brilliance to create impact for
Mhm.
other women. Age not mattering, just women around to support and inspire that, what? I may be some of them who are still in that space wanting to overcome certain challenges. They get to see I'm being crowned for. There were
Mhm.
other women who have overcome and they're leading a community of other women. All of us get to inspire one another. So I'm just like
Mhm.
truly excited to crown. It's going to be a beautiful ceremony. The women get to be on their throne as they're being
Wow.
crowned, and it's just going to be lovely.
All right. Can't wait for that. I will definitely have the information in our description so everyone can go to the site and nominate someone or nominate yourself and be at the event in October. So this is amazing. Thank you for even creating something like this. It's much
Thank
needed.
you.
Thank you. So, last but not least, let's talk about your book, Toxic Confessions. I love the name of it. I have a book called No More Crumbs. It's about rejecting, releasing toxic relationships. So I'm curious to know more about what your book is.
So, Toxic Confessions, from sensual shadows to
Mm.
soul missions. So it is a memoir, and I truly am proud because it's a book. I'm a reader, and it is a combination. It's a truly unique book because it's a combination of a memoir, tell all, because there are some public figures, certain stories, but it just happens to be my experience. But more so, more importantly, it's the soulful elevation of what I've been through. And so in each chapter, at the end, there are soul lessons. There were
Mhm.
soul lessons that I learned throughout my journey, starting from teenage years. It starts out really fun, like in the 90s. The 90s was such a great era. So it has this really great 90s vibe. It
Mhm.
takes you back, and you're like, wow, I do remember that. So you're going to feel like, oh, I'm feeling back like in the 90s. And then that early 2000s, I was in LA, I was in Miami, I was having this different lifestyle, but I had quite a few challenges, but I was able to have these beautiful soul lessons that I'm so happy to share with, especially our younger women, so they can
Mhm.
understand there are different choices that can be made in these certain situations. Especially, there's one chapter that I really have dear to my heart called No One Taught Me How to Be Beautiful. And
Mhm.
so it's a really, really exciting book. It also comes with a workbook. And so
Okay.
you can work through like your own soul journey. And
Wow.
the book is the beginning in one of many in my She Is Alchemy book collection. There's a
Okay.
total of 14 books. So
Great.
it's a really great series that's coming. So I'm really happy to share it with everyone. And yeah, cannot wait to hear feedback from everybody.
And so, where can we find the book? And it's already launched, right?
Yes, and so
Right.
it's on my website, sheisалchemy.lifestyle, and then there will be a list. It's not going to be in your normal Amazon
Mm.
or any of those of other websites. It will be in certain boutique and certain distributors that I'm working with. And the reason being is, again, it's such a unique book. It's actual the ritual edition that I
Mm.
launched first. And
Mhm.
so you get to actually do a full-on ritual in beginning to read the book and to
Mm.
connect, so you can connect with your own journey. And so I just felt like certain places that I was going to sell it in would have more of an understanding of how to. And because my goal is not selling more books, but more so getting that quality and understanding, you'll be able to keep up on my website as far as which other places that it can be purchased.
And we'll also have links to the book, the website, and just everything that we need to connect the listeners to you as well. So, other than your website, where else can we find you online?
She is alchemy.lifestyle right now. I'm working on my
Okay.
social media.
Sure. So, what's the main takeaway that you want us to get from this experience with you today? Like, what is it that the message that you really want women to know?
So, for so many years, I looked outside of myself. It was beautiful. I was able to experience different spiritual practices, different religious practices, different practical workshops, books. And the number one powerful thing that I found is that we truly are each our own sacred alchemists. You
Mm.
truly have it within you in your own way to be able to, some may trust in the word healing, some may say, I don't really believe in healing. Either way, you're able to elevate
Mm.
yourself. In my opinion, as many women as I've been around, and I have had women's groups for over 25 years in
Mm.
different cities. I've been around thousands of women. I've had conversations with thousands of women from all walks of life. And each and every woman I spoke with had some unique power about them that was so beautiful to me in
Mhm.
connecting with them. Even a woman, one time I used to feed the homeless on Skid Row every
Mhm.
Sunday. I would go with my groups, my community of women. We would all make food for them. And I remember one time hugging a woman tightly, and everybody was worried, like, you could, there might be something you can.
Mhm.
I was embracing the power of how open she was to hugging me.
Yeah.
I could feel the love in her heart. And although she might have been labeled many other things by everybody just looking at her,
Mhm.
those labels didn't resonate with me, because in that moment she opened her arms out and she was in so much gratitude for the food that we had handmade for her and that we were
Mhm.
serving her with love. When we would show up, they'd call us the Victoria's Secret models. They're like, all of you, you just show up like these angels and models just giving it. And we're like,
Mm.
no, we're here with love to feed you and to honor you. And I would say the biggest takeaway is to always remember that no matter how low, no matter how high, you have your own unique power that maybe you just haven't tapped into, resonated, or remembered. But there's no need to spend thousands of dollars when you're not able to. There truly is that magical voice in you speaking to you, just waiting for you to listen.
That's beautiful. And with that, that's the end of our episode today with Beauty Reyna. Thank you so much for being on our show. Thank you for sharing your wisdom as well as your book, Toxic Confessions. Like I said before, the links will be in the description below. Thank you again, and I hope that we can chat with you again soon.
Likewise. And I want to thank you again, because what you're doing for us women is truly beautiful. So please just know I'm here to support.
Thank
I
you.
love it. I cannot wait to see more of the beautiful guests that you have. Thank you so much. It's been a beautiful experience connecting with you.
Quite welcome, quite welcome. And for everyone else, thank you also for tuning in to this episode of the Self Care Oasis podcast. And remember that you have the power and the opportunity to choose your bliss today. So do what you need to do in order to get on that path and to unblock your brilliance. Take care, and we will see you again next time. Bye.